Hey, good morning, Mendham family, and welcome back to another vlog here. I'm actually helping right now my girl Ariel here. Ariel. My girl Ellie, my children's python here, getting some stuck shed off of her. Because she actually just came out of shed earlier today, and you can see she kind of destroyed her cage there quite a bit there in the bowl. But right now she's still got some stuck shed on her. And right now it isn't that easy for me because she's kind of squirming right now, and she is got some energy right now for sure. And she almost looked like a couple times she wanted to take a snap at me earlier, so I don't want to take that chance of actually taking a bite from her, because even though she is a children's python, it's not that very big, but trust me, you still don't want to take a bite from her, because it actually does kind of hurt a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to try and see if I can get that stuck shed off of her, and because she already tried to soak in her water bowl earlier today, it should be able to help and get that stuck shed off of her. Oh, okay girl, it's okay. It's okay, let me help you. Okay, girl, come here. You're alright. You're alright, sweetheart. So, slowly I'm helping her massage it off because she already started shedding earlier. So, if your snake does have a hard time with stuck shed on it, and if you want to help, it doesn't hurt it at all. Actually, she might actually think it feels pretty good. And you can see she is just a little scared right now. And, oh, yep, she's starting to wrap around my thumb there. I don't want her to do that. Don't bite me, girl. Please don't bite me. I don't want you to bite me today. Even though she's not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I think she'll eventually figure it out, because I'm only just trying to help her get that stuck shed off of her. Come here, girl. It's okay. It's okay, girl. You're okay. You're okay. Ah, there we go. See that? There you go. Doesn't that feel good? Does that feel good? Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yep, there we go. We're slowly making progress here. Alright, come on, girl. I want to help you out here. Come on. Yeah, sorry for the camera angle there. It's not the greatest, that's for sure. But right now, it's just really when I'm trying to handle a snake here, helping it get stuck shed off and trying to record at the same time, for me, it's not that simple. So, I'm trying the best I can. So, alright, come on, girl. You're alright. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there, girl. We can get it. Alright. Ooh, there we go. So see that? Some of that skin just came right off. Ooh. Right there, some of that shed skin just came off. So that's what we want to do. Alright, girl. Come on. We're almost there. We're almost there. You're alright, girl. It's okay. Just gently massage it off. Alright, you're doing good. You're doing so good. See, does it feel good? Let's see if we've gotten the belly. Yep, we have gotten it so far. Alright, so managed to successfully help getting that shed loose, and now she's just going to crawl through out of it. Oh, well, hi! Aw, you're welcome, honey. You're welcome. I bet you that felt good now, didn't it? So, yep, that's it. That's all the stuck shed that came off of her, so... But now I'm not done yet, because I gotta not only get her back in her cage, but also I gotta clean up, actually, all that stuck shed that was stuck inside her water bowl, so. But anyway, welcome back to the vlog, you guys, so I hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend. You guys can see immediately after I put her back in her cage, she decided to climb up to the top, because that's where she's actually gonna rest for a little while, actually, because it's a little cool right now. But that's where like the hottest spot of the cage is, so that's where she's gonna just chillax for a little bit, and then eventually she could eventually come back down actually and just relax behind her little plant back here, because that's where her sleeping spot is. But overall, I'm just glad we got all that shed skin stuck off of her, because typically what happens is, usually when a snake goes in the shed a few times, but unfortunately there could be at times when they get stuck shed on them. But what I'm trying to say is that a few times into a shed, usually when a snake goes into it but doesn't manage to successfully shed the entire skin off, like let's say for example that a snake is shedding its skin but it doesn't get the eye caps off, because that's right, yeah, the snake's eyes are actually protected by a cap actually. So but when a snake tries to shed its skin and the only thing that doesn't come off is the eye caps, you got a problem there, because eventually the snake can go blind if it doesn't succeed of getting the cap off after a few more sheds. So that's why it's very important. You also want to check your snake's eyes when they actually finish shedding their skin, because if the eye cap is not off, you've got to help it out there. And we do recommend using like maybe a damp paper towel or a just a regular towel cloth in general. Just get it a little soaked up and damped, and then just help it gently rub along the eyes to help to get that eye cap off. So if you guys are in a situation like that, those are probably really good choices to do if you have a snake that's got stuck eye caps on its eyes. So before we jump into today's topic today on the vlog, you guys, I'm gonna go actually stay the night at a friend's place because they're having a Halloween party tonight. But by the time this vlog goes out, it's already gonna be done when Halloween's over. It's gonna be maybe about a couple weeks probably at the latest, I don't know. But anyway, my ride's gonna be picking me up here in a couple of hours, so the party doesn't start until 2, but I'm actually pretty excited to go. I wish I could bring you guys along, but I don't know how the family would feel if I brought my vlog camera with me, because they would probably think it would be a little awkward to talk on camera with them, like if I'm filming with them as well. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get changed out of my pajamas, get some clothes on, I grab the shower, and then soon I just gotta wait for my ride to pick me up. So anyway, into today's topic of the vlog, you guys, we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons of people owning a Burmese python. So typically you guys probably have heard many times before for the last 10 plus years of people like, well, not people releasing pythons, but Burmese pythons invading Florida in the Everglades, and on and on and on and on. Because recently there was an article that just came out of someone finding a 10-foot Burmese python finding in their front hood of their car, and of course that's really no surprise because there's a reason why for that. Because Burmese pythons, you guys, like all snakes, they like heat, right? And basically an engine gives off heat most of the time, so that's probably why that Burmese python went in there. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and go back to the main topic about Burmese pythons. So what are the pros of Burmese pythons exactly? So let's pretend my girl Ellie here, my children's python, is a Burmese python. Not that I say she is a Burmese python, but she is a part of the Pythonidae family. But let's pretend she is one. Now, this is close to about the exact size of a newborn hatchling right here of a Burmese python. And they're relatively affordable, very cheap. That's one of the pros there about Burmese pythons. Very inexpensive. They're usually very popular, very gorgeous patterns on them as well. That's one of them for sure. And of course, there is going to be cons on them as well. Oh, look at you. I know you're a little upset, honey. You're okay. See, you're doing good. See? I love you too. So yeah, that's one of the few pros right there of Burmese pythons. But now let's look at a couple of cons as well of what the issue is with Burmese. While a Burmese python, you guys, may make a very great pet snake and very docile temper with them, that's another pro for them as well. But there is a couple cons on that as well, is that because one of the cons about Burmese python is that they can get quite a bit large. Believe it or not, some of them range on average about maybe 12 to about 15 feet in length, you guys, and that's really big for a Burmese, you guys. Hardly some ever exceed even 12 feet, to be totally honest with you, but some of them in captivity have reached 20 feet in length and up to about close to 200 pounds in some cases. And think about that, you guys. Would somebody that is just starting to get into snakes want to have a pet Burmese python that's 15 feet long and 200 pounds and really doesn't know much what to do with it at that size? I don't know, you guys, because definitely one thing is for sure, a Burmese python is not a beginner pet snake, without a doubt, because it requires large cage, basically, right there as well, and is very expensive to feed as well, because Burmese pythons, you guys, believe it or not, do have quite the appetite for food. As babies, they're going to just eat small rodents like rats and maybe like baby chicks and stuff like that. But as they get older, they actually will slowly make their way up into large rodents like rabbits, maybe small birds as well. Even in some cases, maybe even other reptiles out there like lizards, even alligators, believe it or not, down in the Everglades. The Burmese pythons, you guys, they have been such a nuisance down there since the early 90s because of Hurricane Andrew that actually demolished a breeding facility in Miami, Florida a long time ago, back in the early 90s. And for years, alligators have actually been a top prey item for Burmese pythons as well. I've seen some YouTube videos of a Burmese python trying to fight an alligator, and let me tell you, it's pretty cool to watch, but at the same time, it's also a little bit disturbing because those two are the top apex predators on the food chain. But one thing is for sure is that Burmese pythons do not belong in Florida or anywhere in the United States in general. And if you guys ever wondered how did the Burmese python get down to South Florida, well, I basically gave it to the answer already. It's because when a hurricane hit a breeding facility in Miami, the building was destroyed and Burmese pythons, dozens of them got loose, and that's how the invasion started. So that is basically where the Burmese python invasion began, basically. And believe it or not, you guys, about maybe 10-12 years ago, the US government actually took action and eventually stopped allowing international cargo ships transporting wild-caught Burmese pythons to the United States. They made a ban on that because of the invasion that's going on in the Everglades, and so far the numbers since the early 90s have gone up. Probably some people think it's like close to several hundred thousand is what they say, but really the exact number is completely unknown, to be totally honest with you. It's probably maybe like 10-20,000, somewhere around there. Who knows the exact number, even though hundreds of them have been captured and killed. But still, the number just keeps coming and coming. So, and believe it or not, you guys, the average clutch number for a single Burmese python, believe it or not, can lay on average about 100 eggs in a single clutch. Think about that, 100 eggs in a single clutch for one female Burmese python. And that is a lot of eggs, you guys. So, and that's why they're becoming such a nuisance down in the Everglades, because they reproduce so much down there. It just becomes such of a big issue there. But my girl Ellie here, she can't probably that many eggs, no more than maybe 10-12 eggs at max for her size, because she's so little. But when you compare a children's python that only gets maybe 2.5-3 feet long to a Burmese that can get like 15+ feet, that's a huge difference. But my girl Ellie here, she does have quite the appetite for hunger, but lately she's been kind of off food. I guess it's just a change in the season since we're already into November. But anyway, this girl is just really, really cute though. I love her so much. So, but yeah, like I was saying though, is that yeah, Burmese pythons can make a great pet snake as long as you've had experience with other snakes in the past, whether it's with boa constrictors or other colubrid snakes and even other smaller pythons as well. But if you're just starting to get into pet reptiles and you're thinking about getting a Burmese python, you might want to save that for later, because I actually had a friend, actually, believe it or not, he's told his story many, many times before that when he was a kid, his first pet snake was a Burmese python, and he really had a little bit of knowledge about it back then. It was like back in the early 80s, you guys, so back then it was like time was way different back in the day about snakes and other reptiles. But yeah, since then, he realized that he thinks he made a terrible mistake, but since then he's really grown his collection. He started a zoo, and I've been down there a couple times, and it's just so cool to see the animals he's brought there to the zoo. It's just something like Disney World in a way. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys are looking forward to getting a pet snake, I would recommend maybe starting with maybe something like a ball python, or even Ellie, like my girl, the children's python, for example. Also, one of the other cons, you guys, about Burmese pythons is that depending where you live is also an issue as well, because it's not just Florida that's actually banned the public from owning pet Burmese pythons. In a few other states, they've allowed the same thing as well, maybe like parts of Texas, Louisiana, all those states over there, even California, kind of the same way as well. They've kind of made it illegal for people to do that because they're worried that the population of the Burmese pythons could spread across the southern part of the U.S. They even made a map, I guess, of the future, about 50 years into the future, of how far the Burmese python's range would spread. And some people say it could stretch all the way as far north as from California all the way up to maybe like the mid-Atlantic. There has already been a test done on that, and someone actually decided to put that to the test in a 10-acre environment in North Carolina. And they did it actually over the winter time, actually, to release about a dozen Burmese pythons into this 10-acre environment that was completely sealed off so the snakes couldn't escape. And they tested it over the winter time to see how well the snakes would survive. And by the time the winter was over in North Carolina, all the snakes perished, believe it or not. That's right, all the snakes perished. And this was in North Carolina. And now North Carolina is a pretty good state to like thrive in, but unfortunately these Burmese pythons did not survive. So do I think that maybe Burmese pythons could migrate northward? Truth is, so far I don't believe it will, but yeah, that is an issue with travel there with Burmese pythons. Let's say if you guys own one here in Michigan, but you got to move out of the state though, you may not be allowed to take your Burmese python with you because that state may have banned it because you're not allowed to own it there. And that's going to probably cause an issue there, and that makes people very, very frustrated. I've heard a few stories of people saying that when they're moving out of one state to another, but the state they're moving to doesn't allow people to have a pet Burmese python, they get pretty frustrated, and they unfortunately either had to bring it to a zoo back into their other state where they originally lived, or they had to find someone else to actually take responsibility for it. So it is a pain in the butt for people that actually have to go through with that. And personally, I would not want to go through that myself. But hey, it could happen one day, you guys. But some states actually, believe it or not, that have made it illegal. Some zoos there actually have been given permits, though, because basically they want to do educational shows with those kind of animals. Like at Gatorland, they have a couple of them there, but those are captive-born Burmese pythons, because basically they've hatched and raised them there their whole life. So basically they still got permits for them. But yeah, so if you're thinking about moving out of states and you have a pet Burmese python with you, that state might not allow you to bring it with you. So that's just how the law is these days, you know. Some people have been taking action against it, and we actually have for the last few years on something what is called United States Association of Reptile Keepers, you guys. That is actually what has been trying to take legal action to actually stop the Lacey Act from actually trying to take away our rights from owning these pet beautiful reptiles. And personally, I'm actually with them on this because I feel like people should have a choice on this if they want to try it or not. But at the same time, there do have to be some specific guidelines to this as well. And believe it or not, just a little over a month ago, there was another article about another python down in South Florida that was captured, and they say it broke the state record. Now that has been broken at least 2 or 3 other times within the last maybe 5-10 years or so, but this one might have seemed pretty legit, to be honest, because this one measured just about close to 19 feet, you guys, and that's a big snake. I'll actually show you a picture right here of what the snake looks like, and you gotta admit, it is a pretty big one for sure. And I'm not 100% sure though on one thing, if it's already laid a clutch of eggs or not. They didn't say, but still, that is a really big Burmese python for sure, and that shows you guys that even in captivity they can get that big, even though it's not super common, but it has happened before. And that's why they're not a great starter pet snake. But if you guys, like I said, had experience with snakes for years and years, maybe then you can actually start getting ready to get your own pet Burmese python then. And with that said, you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the vlog here for the night. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about me having this kind of topic about the Burmese pythons that have been kind of like making whether or not if they're a good pet snake or whether if it's a good starter pet snake for new reptile owners or whatever else was on the topic there. So regardless though, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe to that channel, press that subscribe button for me, and turn on that notification bell, and leave a comment down below also to tell me how you guys are having a wonderful weekend, because just earlier today, the weather was actually really nice outside. It hit 60 degrees here in the UP for the start of November, which that is so rare for this time of the year, because normally we start seeing our last 60-degree days usually by the beginning of October. But this one is a very special day, but in another week or so, it's going to start cooling down. So regardless, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a night here, you guys. I hope you guys want to see more of these kind of topics. Let me know in the comments. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tune in next time, you guys. Peace out.